What's the deal, family? Welcome back to the Realest Action channel on YouTube. It's your boy Sean. We're here with another banger for y'all, man. So look, the harsh truth about the GOAT debate, okay, man? So look, and I think this is just the GOAT debate. I don't even know what this is, man, really. But this was sent to me on Instagram at Sean W. Tyler. Get at me over there, man. Any reactions, any requests you got. I was actually planning on doing a Magic Johnson video today, man. If the person, a few people have requested this, but there's one person specifically, you keep asking me for, and I keep telling you I'm gonna do it, and I don't keep doing it. If you're watching this video, I'm sorry, it's gonna come, man, but I had to, okay? I had to do this one. We about to run this up, man. If you guys watch any of my basketball videos, then you know I've already reacted to a GOAT series. Where is it at? Cool, yeah, so I've already reacted to Making the Case, man, which is basically a series where a guy tries to make the case for every basketball GOAT and to figure out who is the actual GOAT. If you guys are interested in that, go watch those, man. There's Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, LeBron, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan. Who else? Magic Johnson, Bill Russell. I think that's it, man. And he also has Making the Cases for teams, too. So if you guys want me to check that out, yeah, cool. So he also has Making the Cases for specific teams too. If you guys want me to actually go through these, man, I will. Just let me know in the comments. Get at me on Instagram, and I'll go check out all these different Making the Cases for specific teams. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get into this and let's look at the harsh truth about the GOAT debate. Let's get to it.
14 for the Lakers.
LeBron! Look out for God damn!
Oh my Lord!
It's never gonna end.
LeBron James.
LeBron's reign over the NBA. I've just come to the conclusion that LeBron has hacked into the Matrix and has transcended aging. LeBron is in his 19th NBA season and is somehow still one of the best players on the planet.
Insane,
This isn't
bro.
supposed to happen. 99% of NBA players peak in their mid to late 20s and then slowly regress as they age, eventually becoming a liability to their team and inevitably sailing off into the sunset, washed up and content with their achievements. But not LeBron. The man is fighting his age like he's got a grudge on time itself. And the more he piles up on these mind-bending feats, the more we must ask ourselves the question, and I really hate to do this, but is LeBron the greatest basketball player of all time? And
Look at, bro, I'm Kobe fan till I die, bro. I don't care what you talking about, bro. They used to call me Kobe when I was in elementary school because I had an afro that was this big. You know why I had an afro that was this big? Because of motherfucking Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean, bro. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. If you ask me who the GOAT is, I don't know who the GOAT is, but my GOAT is motherfucking Kobe Bean Bryant. Okay? If you ask me objectively who the GOAT is, my first guess is I'm going to go with Michael Jordan, bro. 6-0 in the finals, I don't like losing. I hate losing with the passion so much that the fact that he went 6-0 in the most important series in all of basketball, I got to give him that, bro. When it counted the most, he won every time. I don't care about round one. I don't care about round two. I don't care about the year he didn't make it to the play. Every time he made it to the game that counts the most, he won. Kobe is Kobe, bro. I grew up in LA, from LA, grew up watching Kobe. I was like 6'7" when he won his first ring. You feel me? Like I'm Kobe all day, bro. How you feel? I know there's some Larry Birds in the comments. I know we probably got some Magic Johnsons in the comments. We for sure got some LeBrons in the fans in the comments. Let me know who your GOAT is. I'm Kobe Bean all day, though.
if he isn't, what would he need to do to truly, once and for all, be the GOAT?
Get Los Angeles Lakers 3 more rings. Get the Lakers 3 more rings. I got you.
About 5 years ago, I uploaded my first basketball-related video onto this channel. The title of that video is LeBron the GOAT. You can still watch this video today, but since it's an absolute dog water of a production, I highly recommend you steer clear of it. To summarize the video, I gave 10 reasons why LeBron would retire as the GOAT. Fast forward 5 years and thousands of hours of watching games, collecting data, and gathering context in this sport that we love. I've since changed my ways and realized that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. But my original assessment from 5 years ago, greatest basketball player of all time. But my original
6-0 in the finals, I'm just saying.
assessment from 5 years ago hasn't completely changed, because I never said LeBron was the GOAT at the time. I just gave 10 reasons why LeBron would retire as the GOAT. But ever since I dropped that video, I've pretty much avoided the GOAT conversation altogether. I've put a spin on the idea of the greatest players in certain aspects of the game. I've talked about the greatest scorers, I've ranked players using purely numbers, but I've never really broken down who the greatest player is, in my opinion, because I just feel like the topic is a bit redundant. And ESPN already gives you a daily update on the GOAT debate anyways,
literally,
so no need
every
for me
week.
to do it. But I think it's time we actually discuss this, because what LeBron is doing...
I got so much I want to say about the first takes and all those other shows and stuff, but I'm not gonna say.
At this point in his career is just absurd. At the moment, there are pretty much 3 different camps on the whole GOAT debate. People who think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, people who think LeBron is the GOAT, and people who are wrong. I'm just joking, of course. But not really. I'd say about 75% of people fall into the MJ's the GOAT category, about 20% of people fall into the LeBron's the GOAT category, and about 5% fall into the other category. Usually these other fans believe the GOAT is Wilt or Kobe or Kareem. There's not many
Larry
of them,
Bird,
but boy,
Magic.
will they die on that hill. See, the thing here is that a lot of the fans in MJ's corner believe that he is and will forever be the GOAT. But realistically, is there anything LeBron can do to surpass him? I mean, there's gotta be some sort of objective metric we can use to distinguish the greatest player of all time. No opinions, no bias, just the facts. If LeBron somehow won 4 more championships and retired with 8 rings, he'd undoubtedly be the GOAT.
Facts.
Right? So there are paths for him to become the greatest ever. But where does that threshold lie, and what would LeBron have to achieve to get there?
Here's the problem with LeBron, bro. He got too many negative ticks on his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could be like, well, Jordan took 10 years or however long to get his first ring. You know what I'm saying? You could say that. But that's what else you gonna say? You know what I mean? What else you gonna say? What else can you say? You can't. That's the messed up part about Jordan, bro, is that there's no negatives really. Oh man, well the Pistons beat him up. The Pistons beat him up. Okay. Dummy rings after, they still salty. You feel me? Like the Pistons are still salty off Jordan. So what did they really do? What did they accomplish against him? Besides that one time or whatever, a couple years in the 80s. It's just there's no negatives, bro. He even left the game for 2 years. And people try to come at him for coming back halfway through a season after not playing the sport for like 2 years. And people still try to get him for that. Like, you can't, there ain't no negatives. Oh, he went to the Wizards and he sucked, okay? Whatever. He still had the most highest points ever scored for a certain age. Like 63 points for a 39-year-old, bro. Like, there are certain things that there ain't no negatives, bro. LeBron got negatives, so that's why his achievements, he has to have so many damn high-ass achievements just to even be in the conversation. He has to get 2 more rings than Michael to solidify. So he has to do all these extras because of the negative ticks. Where Michael Jordan didn't really have too many negative ticks, so the accomplishments almost look perfect. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna stop now.
First, let's just take a look at the basic numbers. Between Michael and LeBron, LeBron has more career points, rebounds, assists, blocks, more triple doubles, higher field goal percentage, and a higher 3-point percentage. And Michael has more steals and a higher free throw percentage. But this whole argument, the career totals argument, is only useful in demonstrating LeBron's longevity and sustained excellence.
Exactly.
These numbers don't prove that LeBron's a better scorer, or rebounder, or defender, or shooter than Jordan. They just prove that LeBron's been good at these things for a very, very long time.
Exactly.
These numbers also show just how versatile LeBron is, possibly his most valuable asset. So instead of looking at career totals, let's look at career averages. Michael averages more points and more steals, and LeBron averages more assists and more rebounds. And as much as it pains me to say this, this is usually where the argument for the GOAT ends for most people. Throw in a required comment about their finals records and you pretty much have a condensed version of most GOAT debates. But there is so much more to unpack here. So let's unpack it.
Advanced stats.
So y'all know how much I like advanced stats. They don't tell the full story, but if you know which ones to look for, you can discover some nuances in a player's game that you won't get by just watching them play. Player efficiency rating, win shares per 48, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, value over replacement, and true shooting percentage.
I think the ones that matter are PER, win shares per 48, and true shooting percentage to an extent. If you're comparing scores, then that's more related. But
these 6 advanced stats give us efficiency, production, value, impact, and pretty much everything in between. And in these 6 advanced statistics, Michael Jordan exceeds LeBron in 5 of them. He's more efficient overall. He contributes to more wins. He contributes to more points. He's better on defense, and he is generally more valuable on the court than LeBron is. The only advanced stat where LeBron tops Jordan is true shooting percentage. Now, in terms of who's a better basketball player, nearly every metric points to Michael Jordan. But really take a look at these numbers, and it's actually uncanny just how close LeBron is to MJ across the board.
Yeah, I mean, literally, yeah, he got him. But it's tough because they're literally, like, this is the bigger difference right here. But even that's like, come on, bro, 0.02.
Just a fraction behind Jordan in pretty much everything. But these numbers aren't even addressing who's greater, because that conversation would involve accolades and accomplishments and impact on the game. Take away the rings, the influence, the intangibles, the opinions, and it's virtually objectively true that Michael was a better basketball player than LeBron. But the GOAT debate isn't necessarily about who is the better player. It's about who is the greatest player. We've got some more unpacking to do. Now, we cannot have a thorough GOAT debate without discussing the accomplishments of each player.
If LeBron competed in the dunk contest, he'd be even higher. Let's keep that a buck too, bro. Let's keep that a buck too, though. Every single person in the world wanted LeBron. LeBron is. Look, I said this to my pops when the All-Star Weekend was happening and we just seen the worst dunk contest ever in the world. I had to tell him. I was like, bro, I think LeBron ruined the dunk contest. Mate, that's a hot take, but I stand on that shit. He was the first big NBA player that everybody wanted to see in the dunk contest that did not participate in the dunk contest. And I single-handedly feel like he ruined it because a lot of great potential dunkers after him did not compete in the dunk contest either. It was too cool to compete in the dunk contest. Kobe competed, Vince Carter competed, motherfucking... I want to say Tracy McGrady, but I don't think he did. Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Julius Erving. Like, if you could do it, bro, and you a great player, that's what All-Star Week is about. We want to see you come dunk and do something. Blake Griffin, Dwight Howard. The high flyers need to compete, and he didn't do that. And that kind of, to me, is a slight little. If Jordan does not compete in the dunk contest, you don't get the Jordan logo. That literally started the shoes. Think about that, bro. People, like, that Jordan logo, people see 24/7 all the time, always trying to buy shoes and shit, right? That Jordan logo is from the dunk contest. Free throw line. Legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
Numbers are cool and they have their purpose, but numbers alone aren't indicative of greatness. They're just a vehicle to greatness. This is why, despite James Harden spending half a decade piling up some of the greatest scoring numbers in NBA history, most people don't consider him greater than some players with far lesser offensive numbers. The numbers complement the accolades, not the other way around. This is also why I consider Wilt Chamberlain to have been a better basketball player than Bill Russell, but Bill Russell was greater than Wilt. Wilt achieved his greatness through his numbers, whereas Russell achieved his greatness by contributing to an unrelenting style of winning basketball. So let's take a look at the accomplishments of both Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, there
Winning
are plenty
basketball.
of other awards a player can earn in the NBA, but these are the ones that really stand out on a player's resume. Championships, Finals MVPs, regular season MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA selections, and All Defensive Team selections. And amongst these 6 categories, Jordan beats LeBron in 5 of them. And Michael accomplished all of this in just 15 seasons to LeBron's full 18 seasons. The only category where LeBron outperformed Michael is in All NBA selections. And most will argue that, again, this is an accomplishment of longevity more than anything else, which, at this point, seems to be the overall theme in the GOAT debate. Up to this point in his career, the majority of fans will agree that LeBron has been a step below Jordan in terms of greatness. So now the race to become the GOAT has become a marathon, because eventually the sheer volume of LeBron's career numbers and achievements may become so overwhelming that we'll have no choice but to concede that he is in fact the greatest player of all time. Which brings us to a...
I agree, his stats will eventually just be too much. Especially if he doesn't, barring any major injury in the next 5 years, his stats are going to be that so crazy it's almost going to be like hard to not say.
Real dilemma in this age-old debate. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. A great quote by the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu regarding the idea of excellence and the sustainability of it. Almost as if you can have longevity or be exceptional, but you can't have both. Now, in the world of basketball and sports in general, usually being exceptional translates to longevity and vice versa. Michael Jordan was excellent for 13 seasons in the NBA. His flame was violently bright and had burned for quite some time. But what if there was a flame that burned about 95% as bright and lasted much, much longer? At a certain point, the radiance of even the brightest flame is outclassed by the flame that just won't quit. Of course, LeBron isn't a flame. He's a 6'9", 250-pound freak of nature in basketball shoes, but his light shines about 95% as bright as Michael Jordan's did, and it's lasting a whole lot longer. When does the longevity of LeBron's brilliance simply outmatch the slightly greater but much shorter brilliance of Michael? Because as we've discussed, Mike trumps LeBron in pretty much every single metric other than longevity and overall production. So the real question here is, how much longer will LeBron have to be excellent before the majority agrees that he is greater than Michael was? The man is in his 19th NBA season, and he's leading the NBA in scoring. He's still a top 5 player in the league, and his bag is getting deeper and deeper with every season. Here's a chart of LeBron's total points, assists, and rebound averages throughout each season of his career. Each point on the graph represents the total average of points, assists, and rebounds for every season of his career. So, for example, this season LeBron is putting up 8, 6, and 30 a game, so his total for the season is 44. Now, in the NBA, anything above a total of 40 is exceptional. LeBron's total production has exceeded 40 in 17 different seasons. Now here's Michael's total average points, assists, and rebounds for every season of his career. This is by far the greatest argument in favor of LeBron in the GOAT debate.
That's a great argument. Hey, he had me silent as shit. He had me zip. I wasn't saying nothing. That was a great. This visual alone can literally change arguments, bro. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, this a great argument. This a great argument right here. That looks insane. I'm not gonna lie. This the 6-0 right here. This is the first 3. This is the warm up. The first 3 fell off for a little bit. Got the next 3. This is the Wizards. Jeez, bro. I don't know what happened right here. Second season entry or something. I'm not sure what happened there. This is a great visual, just great argument. Yeah.
The man has simply sustained excellence for longer than Mike did. And although the numbers are just a vehicle to greatness, there has got to be a point where the numbers are just too glaring to ignore. LeBron's numbers are getting to that point. But some fans will argue that there were other players that were still really good this late in their career. You mean like Kareem, or Kobe, or Karl Malone? They weren't even close. LeBron's already the only player to be a part of the 30K, 10K, 10K club. Aside from a freak injury, he'll undoubtedly break Kareem's scoring record. He'll probably play the most seasons in an NBA career. He already has the record for most All-NBA selections, and he's still adding to what is probably the longest career highlight reel with moments like this. If LeBron is still doing this in a couple years, while still putting up All-NBA numbers, I really think it's going to be difficult to say that he's not the greatest player ever.
He needs 6 rings, bro.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. While LeBron's legacy is growing as he plays more seasons, Michael's legacy would have been slightly diminished if he played more seasons. Of course, this isn't a matter of fact, but all the evidence points towards this assumption. Michael Jordan retiring after playing just 13 NBA seasons in 1998 was the best thing he could have ever done for his legacy. The Bulls were not going to win another championship, and the backbone of the dynasty he had built had all but vanished by the beginning of the 1999 season. If he had played through that 3-year retirement gap from 1999 to 2001, he would have either stayed with the Bulls and put up huge numbers on a losing team, or signed with a different team and chased rings. Both options being far less illustrious than him going out on top with the team that drafted him. Michael's career was the perfect storm. He was drafted by a franchise that was ready and willing to build around him. He was on a roster that suited his skill sets extremely well, and he and the Bulls peaked right as the dominant teams from the 80s and early 90s like the Lakers, Celtics, and Pistons began to fade away. You could not have written a better career if you tried. On the other hand, despite his success, LeBron really got the short end of the deal many times throughout his career. He spent his first 7 seasons in the NBA playing for a team that could not have cared less about building a coherent team around him. He spent 4 straight finals going toe-to-toe with the most dominant dynasty in modern NBA history outside of Jordan's Bulls. While Michael was surrounded by players who were all willing to buy into their system, LeBron has spent many years carrying the load of bad rosters and seemingly incompetent teammates. Part of which is his own fault for trying to play GM and putting together piss-poor rosters. And I bring up these small nuances because the GOAT debate is very nuanced. As much as people want to act like the whole 6-0 in the finals is the end-all be-all to the discussion, it's just not. If rings were all that mattered, then Bill Russell would be the GOAT. Oh, but he played a long time ago, that doesn't count. Okay, well then Robert Horry is the GOAT because he has 7 rings to Jordan's 6. Well yeah, but Horry wasn't the best player on any of those championships. Okay, so is the argument about rings, or is it about being the best player on the court, or a mixture of both? Is a player's performance, despite how masterful it was, all in vain if his team loses? The line becomes less and less clear the deeper you dig. No single metric can be used to determine this debate. And the unpacking of every small minute detail is a necessary burden. But unfortunately, it's a burden that most fans won't bother to take on.
I think personally, if you're looking at it depends on the person and what you're looking at. If you're looking at dubs, how you got the dub and how dominant somebody was, you gotta look at Jordan. It's too insane, bro. LeBron was beatable. So is Jordan, but it's different. When it counts the most, what happened? What do you do when it counts the most? Like, I value that, right? I don't value all around like just having dumb stats. You know what I mean? Like, I don't put value into having crazy amounts of stats. Like, it's great and all, but like I never was like, oh, Kareem the most points. Like, he got the most points, sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Karl Malone got dumb points too. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not stressed on Karl Malone. So, rings do matter. Bill Russell, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's a tough one. It's definitely nuanced, but I think it depends on what the person who's trying to figure out who their GOAT is, what they care about or what they value.
At the moment, I personally believe Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yes.
I also think he's the best basketball player of all time.
Yes.
But, unlike some fans, I don't think the door has closed on LeBron. I think that if LeBron can continue to dominate the league for a few more seasons and continue to shatter our previous notions of what we
I mean, look, if he gets 5 rings and he passes Kareem, right? He's going to pass Kareem. He's going to get 5 rings. Once he does that, once he gets the 5 rings, passes Kareem, it's hard to argue against anybody who feels some type of way about him. You just gotta to each to their own opinions at that point.
Thought was possible in a single NBA career. I think that he has a chance to retire as the greatest player of all time. But of course, only time will tell. And fortunately for LeBron, time seems to perpetually be on his side.
Interesting. The harsh truth about the GOAT debate, man. Y'all let me know what you think. Who's your GOAT? How you feel about his arguments? How you feel about some of the stuff I said? And yeah, get at me in the comments, man. Let's have a discussion. That's it, dude. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Keep it real. Real is where it always reaches everyone. See you next time. Peace.